What is up, chat? What is up? Oh my days, we are so back, bro. Oh my days. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Wait, I hope the audio is fine. Cause there's some random shit going on with my computer after I restarted it, but it's all right. Okay. The stream is still back up today. Um, as you can see, I have multiple tabs on my computer because we're gonna run through the new patch. All right. So we're just gonna wait a while more, then we're gonna start, okay? So for this stream, um, we're not gonna have gameplay, unfortunately. For anyone who wants to watch gameplay, we are not gonna see that today because we're gonna focus on the basics, okay? We're gonna go back to fundamentals. We're gonna do the patch review that is overdue by about a month, alright? Like, we plan to do this like a month back, but because of exams and other shit, we can only do it now. But it's alright, better late than never, right? And for what I see, um the new patch is interesting and my impressions have changed. Well, at least some of them. So I'm gonna be running through all this. I hope to not take too long. It'll be quite a short stream just to give a brief introduction and shit. It'll be at max an hour plus. After that, I'll like condense all the key points in this video, okay? So if you can't like watch the stream or anything, don't worry, I'll condense that into like a 15-20 minute video of like tier list, major changes and shit, and you can just watch it there, okay? Cause it's really very important to understand the meta and like the adjustments this patch because they're huge, okay? It might not look like they're huge, but they are huge, okay? So you have to learn how to walk before you can learn how to run, okay? So just bear with me for a while. Maybe some of you will find this more interesting than gameplay, but we'll try to offer you some new perspectives on like the meta and shit. And like yeah, after that subsequently I'm also getting to Immortal this season. So I'll be streaming some of my games there. So you can look forward to that as well. And yeah, we're just gonna wait like for another 30 seconds. Then we're gonna dive straight into the patch. Okay, there's like so much shit I wanna do like right now. Okay. It feels very awkward because firstly there's like no one for me to talk to like on VC. The freaking like system's not connected. Cause like okay, in case y'all don't know, my computer just like resetted a few days ago. Like it was a forced reset, okay. So like after I reset I had to download everything back up. So I had to set up my stream setup and all that back up again. And to be very honest, I'm not sure if I got the exact settings correct, but I got it up here. It's just not at a stage where I can use the VC yet. So when I figure that out, then we'll definitely have more streams with other people. But for now, it's just me talking. So if you want to interact or anything, just type in the chat. I'll read that from time to time. And yeah, I think it's time to proceed with the stream. Okay, so like I said, this stream will just be a major patch review, okay? It's for anyone who wants to know everything about this patch condensed, okay? And we're gonna take references from professional metas, we're gonna take references from our own experiences. So, this is a very funny document, okay? But basically, we're gonna focus on these three things for the stream today. We're gonna firstly definitely talk about the map change. The map change is something that I've been hyping up for quite a long time. It's something that I've wanted to talk about for quite a long time, but I couldn't because I was damn busy for the past month. But the map change is something that I have quite a few hot takes on and quite a few controversial takes on. So you definitely want to hear me talk about the map change. Battlefield adjustments. This focus mainly on the jungle creep changes as well as the roam blessing changes. And then we're gonna wrap it up with a tier list, okay? So we're gonna do a tier list a bit differently. We're gonna do a tier list by role, okay? Because I know that some of you here mostly care about the one or two roles you play in, and you don't really want to see an overall tier list because it might be too much like to take in at once, right? So we're gonna do individual tier lists for the roles, and then like you get a more comprehensive approach. Now to give some context, this over here is a tier list I made pre-patch, okay? So this tier list right here, let me just check the stream, hold up. Yeah, so this tier list right here, the one you see on your screen, is a tier list I made pre-patch. What does this mean? I made this August 2 months ago, after reviewing the advanced server. Okay, so I can see some things that are really evidently very wrong here, but this is just to give you some first impressions I had. This is to just to clarify, not the current tier list. This was my impressions when I first saw the patch at the very start, before the patch even hit. Alright, so this is just to give some brief context. You can see some picks that aren't really aligned with what's happening right now. I'm looking at you, Octopus. I'm looking at you. That's right. But that's besides the point, okay? We're gonna get to a tier list in just a bit. Let's go on to the actual thing first. Now we're gonna be following this article right here, okay? Because it's quite comprehensive. Why is Lucas down there? Yeah, we will get to it in a bit. Okay, I quite a hot take on Aldu, okay? And Aldu, I will talk about it later as well. Because I do think he has potential, okay? I actually do think he has potential. Now, going on to this article right here, okay? So, I decided, oh, I'm lazy. I'm not going to stream from my phone and everything, right? So, I'm just going to refer to this article, okay? I'm going to refer to this article. I gotta refer to this article for the patch notes, okay? This is basically the patch notes summarized. So I gotta go in order, okay? So Obsidia. Okay. Let's talk a bit about Obsidia, okay? As much as I know, I don't think people are getting the correct impression of her, okay? Of Obsidia, okay? So let's talk about Obsidia first, because who doesn't like new heroes, okay? Obsidia is probably the first balanced hero we got, okay? If we look through the um if we look through the heroes that got released, okay, so there's Obsidia. Before Obsidia we had Zetian. Okay, now Zetian I was terribly wrong, okay, and I'm gonna have a separate video very soon to talk about why Zetian isn't meta, to break it down one by one. So she's bad, okay. Yeah, she is a bad hero, okay. Zetian is a bad hero, okay. Then before Zetian we got Kalia, okay. Kalia is like SSS tier. Sorry, we don't talk about her. Like before the patch, she was SSS. Now she's probably closer to like SSS, like S plus. But like she's still good, okay. Kalia's still good, okay. Then we have the whole bunch of Naruto heroes. You have Suyo, and then we also have Lucas. Now Suyo was broken for like half a year to a year, okay. So he's also like S plus in his prime. Lucas, okay. Though not as strong as the previous two, he was the only one who like dominated both in XP and jungle for a while. So he was at least S in his prime, okay? Compared to like Zetian. Compared to someone like Zetian. Don't compare him to like prime like Kalia or prime Suyo. Just compare him to someone who's like fresh out of the box like Zetian, okay? Now, oh my god, it transfers over to. Okay. Now if you look at this tier list, right? Obsidia, she doesn't really swing to the extremes, okay? My first impression of her was like most of you. Okay, she's broken. She's broken, okay? What do you mean she can shoot like 25 fragments at you and each one chunks down your HB by like half? Like, that's not fair, right? Okay. Let's closely analyze her skills, okay? So to give a very, very brief introduction, because everyone here has played against Obsidia or has played Obsidia before. So basically, she hits people, she gets shots. The more shots she has, the more damage she deals. So obviously, the moment you see this, you think someone like Granger. You think someone like Aldous, you think someone like Sicilian. Stack dependent heroes are mostly late game heroes, okay? So yes, she is a late game marksman. But what sets her aside from someone like a Granger is I would like to compare Obsidia. So we have Obsidia to someone more similar to, let's say, a 1-1, okay? And I'll explain why, okay? There's more parallels to this than you might see, okay? There's very like niche situations. Okay, firstly I do have to clarify, right, that for both Obsidian and 1-1, you see them more so in pro play, okay? If you're just like us who like play rank and don't really have professional experience, or like you don't aspire to like go further in the league, right? You have to understand that Obsidian and 1-1 probably not the best for rank right now, okay? There's so many counters that can play around you if like you don't have a team to function well, okay? The second thing is both can be countered by Winter. I have not seen anyone like try the winter strat against Obsidia. Neither have I seen enough data in pro play to prove this, but I do think that winter does counter her out. Because the moment she outs and you winters, it's basically like rendering her out useless, right? So when the Obsidian out is useless, her damage output is reduced by 3 times actually. 3 times because she can spam the second skill 3 times during her out, which means that she resets the thing 3 times less, which means she deals damage 3 times less frequently. Okay? So, say me. Who's say me? I don't know. Gives a bit of George vibes, but I might be wrong. Okay. I'll check the chat from time to time. But now we're just talking about Obsidian, okay? So welcome to everyone who just joined the stream. We're gonna be doing a patch review. So now we're talking about Obsidian, okay? Obsidian is a higher skill cap hero, okay? That doesn't mean she's a bad hero, it just means she's a high skill cap hero. Why Obsidian isn't as prevalent is because there's so many factors for her to work. If you take a look at MPL, most Obsidians go 1-0, 2-0, and they get like what, 9-10 assists. Because I do agree with the caster's point on Obsidia, is that by the time she joins the fight, let's say she gets 25 shots, okay? She gets 25 shots around like the first lot if you play her well. And the first lot spawns from the 8 to the 9 minute, okay? So, basically what this means, right, is she needs about the same time for a normal scaling marksman to get their Trinity for her to even be relevant in the fight. So which means everything in the early game, like she's getting discounted. And yes, the map changes does supplement this, because the map changes facilitate faster rotations in early game, which I'll be talking more about later. But this does mean that her early game is super unreliable. You don't expect her to join the fight until the 8 to 9 minute, and even the 8 to 9 minute power spike, where she even gets relevant, it's enough for like a Trinity Clock or Trinity Moskov to just like shut your entire team down. So this is why she's played less, because her power spike is just hard to hit. It's inconsistent. Let's say you snowball. You snowball, you can hit that like 8 minutes. You don't snowball, you hit it closer to 10 minutes. The margin of error between those 2 minutes basically guarantees the first lot for the enemy, okay? And the first lot, I keep emphasizing over and over again, is probably the most important lot in this entire game. Except for the late game lots lah. So yeah, Obsidian in a nutshell, very team dependent, very situation dependent. You want to pick her, get some early game insurance. If you want to pick her, if you are the one playing Obsidian, make sure you're the carry in the late game that people need you to be. If not, your entire pick is denied. You ever seen a Sicilian that doesn't carry in the late game? You ever seen like a Aldous, like a random Aldous that doesn't go one-shotting? You need that kind of potential. And if your potential gets shut down by a dive assassin, or your ult gets kited out, or like you don't have enough blinks to escape their dive, you're basically rendered useless in this meta. Because this meta is all about sustained team fights. It's about who wants to brawl it out more. It's about who wants to skirmish it out more. It's about who gets the winning trade and still have resources to convert into objectives. So if you are not able to do that, if you as an Obsidian only gets 1 out of, and if you don't get that out of, you don't get your damage off, you're useless in the game, no one wants to play that hero, right? So yeah, that's just my take on Obsidia. So late game monster, but don't expect her to be that relevant right now. Okay. We'll talk about Alice closer in the tier list because she's technically not a new hero, she's revamped. A lot of people I heard say Alice is bad and all that, by the way. So I'm gonna take this time to just advertise this, okay? Yeah. If you all don't know, I made this Alice guide totally not for the diamonds, by the way. But there's this Alice guide, and like there's this competition. So basically, if you go like it, I have a higher chance of winning. But that's besides the point. I do think that I disagree with some of the stuff here. I've seen people experiment with Curse Helm actually, but most of the other stuff like the fundamentals and like how like her role in the fights objectively, like they remain the same even after a month. I made this like a month ago before promos. So yeah, most of this info is relevant. If you want to check it out, I can link it in some video next time. Or you can just go on Mlbb Hero Guide. I think it's Hero Academy or Hero Guide. And you just like scroll down to the Abyss Heroes. You'll see this somewhere, okay? So I really appreciate it if you all go check it out. And like, yeah, I hope this proves useful to you, to whoever wants to learn Alice, I guess. But we'll talk more about her later because she's an interesting hero that I feel like is very under spotlighted. I couldn't find the word, so I just said under spotlighted. It's like okay, she's being overshadowed. Yeah, she's being overshadowed by other heroes. Okay. Now, we're going according to his website, okay. So whatever comes out next, we will just go with it. Okay. Now comes the interesting part, okay. I've been hyping up this map change for quite a while, so we're actually gonna dive into it right now, okay. So there's this video right here. Okay, let's watch the map change, and then I'll talk along the way, okay.
Hello everyone, and welcome to
I hope it isn't too loud.
of our annual map change. In this video, we'll explore more about this exciting new gameplay feature. Now, let's get started. When the annual map change launches, details of the feature can be found here. When a match starts, players will be notified of the battlefield mechanic that's in effect before hero selection. You can view info about the mechanic anytime during hero selection to plan out your strategy. Are you ready for the...
Okay. Yeah. Moonton stop right here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, an interesting starter, okay. Okay. Let's start with Broken Walls, okay. Broken Walls, I must say, Broken Walls is probably the most interesting one to me. And I don't think it's just me. I've heard a lot of people say they haven't seen a lot of Broken Walls, or when it shows up in pro play, right? Like, casters always hype it up a lot. Okay. So basically what Broken Walls mean in a nutshell, right, is basically your walls are broken. Well, no shit, right? Let's rewind a bit. Let's see if I can get a clear screenshot of like the flashing. Yeah, okay, here. So these lighted up portions of the map, right? Like this one and this one. Basically, in between every two lighted up portions, there's supposed to be a wall. So there's supposed to be like a wall here. And there's supposed to be like a wall here. And there's supposed to be like walls here. And here. And here. And around all the buffs and shit. Okay. So basically what broken walls mean, right? Okay. This right here is the most annoying one, by the way. This wall here. Okay. To set some context, I am someone who believes that the pros spend a lot of time, okay? The pros spend a lot of time trying to master the game, okay? They are this is to justify my initial impressions, by the way. And yes, my impressions have changed. But to justify my initial impressions of the map changes, the 4 new map changes, okay? Some are more balanced than others, I agree. But professionals spend time trying to understand the meta, trying to work their rotations around. And although it's not that evident, like the fact that they bring the map changes to pro play, I know some of you might find it refreshing, and that's exactly what they want, and I do agree, it is refreshing. It's interesting to see that, oh, in addition to like the standard draft picks, there's another layer of complexity. There's map changes. But I'm someone who prefers like old and traditional. I'm someone who, like, even when the dinosaur map came and the Lord went over from one pit to another, I'm like, what? But I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You know why? Lord is the strongest objective in the late game. For it to move and like induce new strategies, like, sure, I'm okay with that. But this one is like, it's toned down to make it not that overbearing, but it's not hype enough for me to feel the impact. You get what I mean? So that's basically the general idea why I didn't like this map change at all. Okay, so if we talk about Broken Walls like independently, okay, like as an independent map, not considering other maps, okay, I must admit it is a good map. Is it fair? Probably not. Okay, this puts the goal lane at so much pressure because you're basically, if this turret is down, you are stuck between this turret and this turret. You are stuck in this space where the enemy is free to come here. If turtle spawns here, by the way, they are free to come here, invade blue. Then they're gonna come here and gank the lane. And you don't have this wall of protection over here. Like what are you gonna do from here? And your team can't go because the way that broken walls are facilitated, they're good for entry in and out from the opposing team. They're not good for like teammates who are trying to enter. Cause like, if you are like on the blue side, you're already gonna enter through this side anyways. Whereas you're on the red side, there's like limited entries if this wall was sealed. If this wall was sealed, you'll be like, oh, okay, we have to enter either from this turret or this turret. We don't have to go in between. We don't have to pinch the guy in the middle. We don't have to sandwich him. But broken walls just facilitate all that and make like the early game so much more dependent. And I have to say, to give like an overarching principle, right, that all these map changes are to facilitate early game. Okay, it's all early game, early game, early game, except one, which we'll talk about it later. Okay, so now that we understand what broken walls is, right, heroes that are better for broken walls. Basically, anyone who has mobility instantly gets nerfed from these broken walls. Why? Okay, imagine you are a Lancelot. Okay, you're Lancelot, there's a wall here. You're Lancelot, initially there's a wall here. If you are Lance, you can just dash from here to here. You escape. Now, imagine you're Lance without this wall, okay? The issue with mobility heroes is that that's literally part of the kit. Their main core of the kit is the mobility. And if you take that away, if you are saying everyone can pass through this area of the map, which means that their value in this teamfight is greatly reduced because they cannot provide as much value to dash in and dash out, engage and disengage, when literally like a Eve or like a Layla with no mobility skills will have to go through the same path as him and be able to choke him in between here. Okay? With the wall, right, they will have to at least force out a flicker or have some form of lockdown or some form of range. But with this wall removed, there's so much more other like entry points for heroes with no mobility. Take for example this blue buff. This blue buff wall used to only break after you clear the blue. Now it's open for anyone to just go in and go out without even having to take the blue buff. Take a look at the Lord. Okay, this ones can be underwhelming to some, but I do think that the Lord and the Turtle broken walls is the most redundant. Like, my turtle is spinning 360 degrees like a Beyblade to turn to someone who just poked him like 1 second ago. Like, it makes you like, I don't know. It makes you question why this thing even exists. But by no means am I against this change. I do see the good intentions Moondon has with this. And I do agree that it's more fleshed out in pro play. But just don't expect your ranked games to be nice with this change, okay? Especially if you're someone who likes assassins, if you're someone who likes mobility, if you're someone who likes to go in and go out, that kind of playstyle, okay, you're not gonna like this. Because this basically says, okay, you can go in and go out, but so what? I can go in and go out too. Okay? So that's just to provide some context to this change. Broken Walls is so fun. I can hook people off Turtle with Ruby. Okay, yeah, exactly. Ruby is a good example here because think about it. If that wall was present, you could not have like okay, cause you know Ruby has a dash, right? Like Ruby can't go through that that wall between the second and third turret if there's no broken walls with the dash, cause the dash has a very short margin. But with these broken walls, especially if you're someone who likes the CC, if you're someone who likes like pull like hard lockdown potential, you can basically abuse this a lot, which is brought out by the example of the Ruby here, okay? But I think we talked enough about broken walls, okay? I'm gonna talk about the rest faster. I think I yapped too much about this. Okay. Dangerous Grass is the one map that I said every other map benefits early game, this one benefits late game, okay? And there's only 2 bushes, okay? There's only 2 bushes that really matter in this, okay? People immediately see this bush, okay? They immediately see this bush. But nope, it's not this bush. If your enemy is camping in this bush, okay. If your enemy is camping in this bush and you're taking the objective without knowing your enemy is in this bush, I don't know what your Roamer and XP are doing, okay? Yes, for sure, it opens more opportunities for your team to like engage, right? Cause like usually Rome and XP stand here, or like they take this position. But now you also have to watch this flank angle. But I don't think it really matters that much. Okay. Yes, it is a bush that matters, but in comparison to the most important bush, I feel it doesn't matter. I also don't think these bushes are relevant. Maybe for long range mages, I can imagine a Fasa standing here and outing 3 people here. Just out here. Or like long range, Novaria. That kind of thing. But I also don't think it matters. I also don't really think these bushes matter at the buffs. Because like same concept the red buff. It only benefits if you're looking for some airstrike. And the sentry here, the sentry covers it. If you are checking for the buff anyways, right? But the one bush that is exceptionally strong and is undervalued in this patch are these 4 bushes, okay? These 4 bushes. These 4 bushes are the main example of why this map can be interesting, okay? Imagine you're down all your turrets except your inhibitors. Your only way to get out is through here, okay? But like you usually won't expect the bush there because you're used to a bush not being there. Like when is a bush there? And it's so close to the turret, okay? It's so close yet so far, okay? Just saying, if I were to walk into that bush, right, by like this side, okay? If I were to walk in by this side, you can't see me. But if I were to walk in like from here and I enter this edge of the bush, you can see me, okay? But most people will walk in through the front side, okay? They'll walk in through this side, okay? And what does that mean? It means that usually, because you won't expect someone to be in this bush, right? Or like this bush, or any of the other 3 bushes, you are susceptible to very late game ganks, okay? Even if they pick off one person here, it's very important. Because you constantly have that worry. I always say this, but you're more worried about something that can be there than something that you know is there, okay? Like, if you have less vision across the map, you're more likely to be worried and paranoid that something is there. There's already so much grass, and there's like an additional layer of grass, which makes you think like, okay, I might have to, I might have to check that. Like, what if there's someone there? You get what I mean? Like, you can't always be sure. And like, obviously you're not going to use the sentry for it because the sentry is used to cover these area of the maps. It's not to cover the side lanes. It's to cover the mid and the jungle area. So dangerous grass, good heroes. The good heroes for dangerous grass, okay, Kali and Hilda are very versatile. They are good almost across all the 4 map changes, which is why they have risen in popularity. But dangerous grass is good for them because why? Hilda is a passive in the grass. Kali can safely lurk around in the grass. Basically, anyone that can lurk in grass. I realize that the map changes also value and they compensate. And not compensate, sorry. Like they are quite compatible with the roam adjustments. So it really facilitates a lot of early game, but this one specifically gives you some late game depth, okay? It gives you some like depth for you to make creative plays, okay? Cause usually pros, right, some of them they camp this turret. Especially if your inhibitor is down, you have even less vision over those bushes, right? It makes you very susceptible to ganks that you might not even see coming. Bushes near the buff are to prevent allowing a late game comeback, allowing junglers or MM to farm. Okay, that's fair. That is fair. But I do think that comeback potential, yeah, this one is probably the highest uh for this map change. I don't think the other cause if you're talking about comeback, you're talking about late game, right? And this map is specifically for late game as well. The other 3 maps are very early game. Expanding Rivers is a bit of both. 遮天 Roam, okay, we will talk about 遮天 Roam when it comes to the 遮天 part, okay? Cause yeah, we're gonna talk about 遮天 as a whole probably. Okay. Let's go on.
In every corner with bush hunted. You'll need new strategies to survive, soaring over the battle like.
Okay, what the hell is this? What the hell is okay. When I first saw this map change, right? I was expecting something like, okay, there's 2 clouds, okay? There's 2 clouds, there's a CD, okay? There's a CD. There's a cooldown, okay? There's a cooldown for the clouds. There's quite a long cooldown. I assume there was quite a long cooldown when I saw that this thing was a thing, right? So I was like, okay, it has to have a long cooldown. If not, it's gonna be broken, right? Like it's gonna be broken if it doesn't have a long cooldown. And another thing I expected from this flying cloud change is that if you ride the cloud, the other person like it diminishes the cloud for someone else. It's like it's like the cloud is not a public good, you know. I didn't expect the cloud to be a public good. Like I didn't expect like the whole team to be able to ride the cloud at once, okay? This brings up 2 problems, okay? Number 1 is the whole team being able to ride the cloud at once. Number 2 is the fact that if you are a laner, you know by the time you take your cloud to your lane, your cloud thing respawns before you even die. Then what's the point of you trying to stay alive in your lane? if you are able to just take the cloud back. Okay, this map does not make sense to me. Okay, this map just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, this 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 map is like what? Yeah, it is 20 seconds. Why is it 20 seconds? You're telling me that in the span of 20 seconds you'll be forced back to the base and you're in a scenario where you need to take the cloud back to somewhere else on the map again. What does that even mean? Okay, to put some credit to this map, is probably the most creative one. Okay, it's something not seen before. You can decide when to get off, you can decide when to get on, you can decide the distance. It goes a balanced distance, it goes in between the second and first inhibitor, but it doesn't reach the first inhibitor. It lands right before your buffs, so that you won't have total objective control. It doesn't reach this area here, but it's also not here, which is too minimal. At this point, you might as well dash. You might as well like buy sprint. I can buy sprint here and run here faster than a cloud, right? So the distance is optimal. The distance is right in between here, which is very, very nice. Cause like it's enough for you to be able to get back into your momentum faster, but it's also not overpowered for you to be able to like suddenly join this Lord fight or suddenly join this Turtle fight. Okay, I wanna like bring up an analogy for this by stating the example of a rough fire lah. Okay, oh my god. Okay, so let's say you have a rough fire lah. Okay, the point of a rough fire lah, which I thought with her revamp, and I talked to people about this, is the fact that it's a safety net. Okay, so let's say your laners die or like your jungler die in early game, you can just respawn them back here and they instantly go back to farm. That's essentially the flying cloud. It's saying that, oh, okay, you can die, but like you have a safety net. You can get back to your momentum faster, you lose out on less farm. Again, it facilitates for very early game on lane comebacks. It doesn't facilitate late game comebacks as much. You watch MPLPH, you see what Neski did on the Harif, you know already, okay? But late game, I didn't expect it to be that underwhelming, okay? I expected late game, right? Tigreal takes Flying Cloud, go over to here, sets everyone and dies. But tell me, in how many of your games has your roamer or your setup tank actually done that? Like, I personally have not seen any. Maybe you have seen some, but you have to admit that it's very, 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 like, it's not gonna happen frequently, okay? And it's because you're in combat, and that's the balance part. If you're in combat, it's about the same as like other passive to proc. You need like 3 to 5 seconds, somewhere between there, for you to be able to get out of combat and ride the cloud again. So like you can't like, oh, I'm running. Oh, never mind, I'm just taking the cloud and going back in with a flicker. Oh, I get 5 people and my team wins. Okay, there's a certain balance to it. The thing is that most people, like if you're a tank, if you're an initiator, you'll be the one setting up, right? You won't be the one riding the cloud, going to the front while your team is dying at the back, okay? So that part is underwhelming for me because I expected to see so much more comebacks in that sense. That the roamer will take the flying cloud and try to initiate something. But you know what's the thing? At base defense, I see more of the opponents trolling the losing team by riding their cloud in front of their faces and emoting on them before I see the roamer try and make a comeback play with this cloud. Which is why, in my opinion, this flying cloud adjustment is the stupidest. Okay, this thing is the stupidest. Okay, I know people can find it fun, but it is extremely stupid to me. Okay, I don't understand this map change at all. This de-incentivizes mana regen. I agree. Okay, let's talk about the last one. Okay,
the river will bring you to victory.
The river will bring me to victory. Ah, what's this sign? It's like 2 8s. No, it's like 3 8s. Wait, guys, can you see this? There's like 1 8 here. Then there's like another 8 here. Then there's another 8 here. Sheesh. Interesting find. Okay, expanding rivers. This one is probably my favorite. I must say, this map here is my favorite. Okay, why is this map here my favorite? Let's talk about it, okay? Basically, what this means is before or after turtle or lord fights, right? You have that window of time for you to rotate in 5 seconds. literally 5 seconds if you complete boots, okay? Literally 5 seconds you reach this mid bush in 5 seconds, okay? Which is crazy, okay? It's crazy, it looks unbalanced, but I'm here to tell you why it isn't unbalanced, okay? The whole point of these adjustments, well, most of them except for dangerous grass, is to, like I said, facilitate the early game rotations. ML wants you to skirmish, ML wants you to apply pressure on the far lane, while also remaining relevant in objectives, okay? And this is probably the one that transcends from the early game to late game the most, because it's really interesting to watch from a spectator view, like if you're watching pro play, to see the river expanding, and then you're watching like the XP lane clear the lane, apply pressure, and rotate immediately back to turtle, force a reaction from the enemy team, and then they also can get back to turtle, and somehow all of that reaches equilibrium, the far lane gets dealt with, the turtle gets slain by one of the teams, and the skirmish still happens. It facilitates all this so well. The only part I have a bit of concerns with is the fact that it expands into the jungle. I'll be fine with like the faster river and like the prolonged duration, but the reason like it facilitates into the jungle, sure, you can steal more lords, but like is that really the essence of this game? Are you playing every game just to steal a lord? I'm sure some of you have stolen lords because of this adjustment before, because usually you won't be as fast. Now maybe if you're playing an assassin, you can rotate there faster, but that isn't really the essence of the game. The whole point of the expanding rivers is rotations, which is why you see more so compared to dangerous grass or broken walls, Kali and Hilda thrive in this map. Why? Your Kali has a built-in movement speed boost, your Hilda basically has a permanent movement speed boost. They can literally rotate so fast and extend their pressure so much. And no, it doesn't go without like using your brain cells. It doesn't mean like, oh, okay, my rivers are expanding, which means I can do anything on the opposite side of the map and I can still get there in time. No. What expanding rivers means is number one, your global outs. For example, your Florin, your Angela, your YSS, your Zetian. All of them decrease in value. Why? Because they prioritize heroes that don't need camp base, where you can literally push the lane and rotate in time. Why would you be camping at the base when someone else is pushing your lane and still gonna be at the fight anyways? You get what I mean? And because of YSS, right, the fact that his popularity decreased a bit, but the Broken Walls buffed it lah. But there's a lot of like controversy going on there, so I won't dive into the YSS shit that much. But essentially what this means is like your global ultimates, unless they really fit into the draft, I'm not saying they can't, but the value gets diminished. They focus more on rotation heavy heroes, heroes that can go fast, heroes like Khalid, heroes like Hilda, heroes even like other unorthodox picks. I've seen people play like, okay, I wouldn't say Esme is an unorthodox pick, but she's really good here. Anyone that has a click button for a movement speed boost instantly becomes good here, because you can push the far lane and still get back to the Lord. And it's balanced because both teams can do it. Both teams have an advantage. The winning team can extend their lead. The losing team can try and make use of that pressure, because usually when you're losing, you're the one split pushing. So it really like balances the whole dynamic. It changes the way you play in the game on an advanced level, but not fundamentally. It doesn't mean as long as I feed 4 deaths, the max that happens is my enemy Layla get fed, but I still get farmed because of my flying cloud. It doesn't mean that I'm previously able to escape, but now I can't because there's a broken wall. Okay? All of that does not matter. Okay? Well, okay, I wanted to say something. Okay, so in my opinion, this is the most fun. Okay, I know this is like the least fun lah, cause like you don't really see this adjustment in game. You just know that it happens, but you don't know like what it exactly does to your game. But it does. Okay, your heroes will be speeding across, and it's not only fun, but it's also balanced at the same time. Okay, so it's balanced and fun, and this is what ML should be. This is what patch note should be. It should be balanced, but it keeps the essence of the game. It doesn't ruin the playing experience for veterans who have been understanding the meta and trying their best to master every single aspect of the game. It doesn't change the core fundamental, which makes it enjoyable yet refreshing at the same time. This is why I like the expanding rivers map. helps with laning, can run around the place. Exactly. It has that fun element, is that twist to it, where like you can always not expect someone coming for you. Like imagine Zilong running. If other people needs 5 seconds, he just needs 3. He can just run. He can just literally run. Okay? Like it's so unexpected yet so like grounded in a sense, which makes it a good map. Okay, so this is just my take. By no means do you have to agree with this, but I hope I at least provided you with some form of insight, at least for the map change itself. Okay, there are some heroes that got nerfed in some maps. There are some heroes that got better in some maps. We're gonna do the overall hero tier list later. This is just a really like controversial take and a very like um it's basically how my impressions have changed. Okay, like if I were to do this when the map changes drop, like I would like full on like yeah you won't even see me complimenting these. Okay, but after I've seen it in pro play, after I've seen the fact that it doesn't really affect anything fundamentally, after I've seen that in rank it also doesn't really change the essence of everything, I'm like, okay, maybe we can give it a try. Kagura buff. Okay, yeah. Kagura is one of my main talking points later. She is she has to be understood in this meta actually, but I do agree. Kagura is another fast rotation gang heavy hero, and this is exactly what they provide. Kagura wants the early game for you to burst down everyone in this game essentially. So yeah. Okay. Now that we talked about the map changes, um we'll go on to the let's see what's on the list. Let's go on to battlefield adjustments. But we'll just go along this list as we said, okay. Hero revamps, Alice will talk about it later. Play with or I've seen understand this meta really well, okay. So yeah. But roaming boots, okay. The roaming boots change is the biggest part of this update, I feel. Okay. Roamers, let's be real, they're undervalued, okay? They're undervalued, they set for the team, and yet someone just makes a TikTok clip of them like getting a savage. So yeah, roamers deserve. Now, what did they do to roaming boots? Basically, they made it more consistent, okay? I'm not gonna run through everything in detail because I'm pretty sure you all know if you read the patch notes. And even if you didn't read the patch notes, you somehow get the idea that, oh, roaming is optimized, right? But so I'm just gonna like go over very briefly, okay? Basically, it makes it more consistent. It doesn't mean that the roamer that snowballs becomes like an absolute monster, and the roamer that doesn't becomes an absolute like piece of trash, okay? Previously, it was more like that, okay? Previously, it was more like, okay, if I snowball on a roam and my team is winning, I become unkillable. I can jump in, I can buy emo as my third item, I can just not die. And if I'm on the losing side, what? First Lord spawn and I just got my antique cuirass, I just got my Athena shield, I just got my blade armor. Like, how do you expect me to tank if I can't even get my gold? But now it's different. Now with the roam adjustment, it's different. Why? Revealing enemies gives you 30 gold. Okay, this is huge. You abuse this at the start of the game, okay? The rotation is basically, I have this very conveniently here. You are the roamer here, okay? Let me select the roam. You are the roamer here, okay? Start of the game. You want a roamer who is more proactive around the map, by the way. Which is why later when we dive into a tier list, you see that tank roamers and like those Khalid, Cho, Hilda that we talked about earlier as well, is favored more in this meta over like support roamers. The only support that can play with this strat is Matilda because she has built-in dash and built-in poke. But what you want to do as a roam, okay, there's two ways you can do this, okay? I'm not gonna go in detail, I'm not gonna telegraph anything, because obviously it depends on the game and how you're feeling, right? I'm not someone that likes to enforce rotations, because I believe if you enforce rotations, you become less adaptable. So there's two ways you can do this. Number one, your goal laner needs babysitting. Okay. Jump. Okay, I spot out the goal laner. Let's go. I spot out goal lane already. I probably have time to go here, check out a bit. Okay, I get another. By the time you go back to mid, you're almost at level 2 because they nerfed it, or you're already at level 2, depending on what the hell happens during this Lito here. The second way you can do this is first go check out the buff first. even if they're not at that buff, don't worry, you can still go to mid and apply pressure. Remember, the fundamental, it doesn't change the fundamental way you play roam. It doesn't mean that, oh, I just have to scout out buffs at the start. Because why? There's a second layer to this. The second layer that they added to roam is, instead of you getting more XP by clearing the waves yourself, which means previously your mage could go XP, okay? Your mage could go XP over here, share this wave, get level 4, and then your roam will take your mid to get level 3 plus or like level 4, okay? But with this adjustment, this doesn't happen. You in fact get less gold if you clear alone. So what this means, right, is you want to play roam in a way where you're proactive around the map for you to get enough roaming gold. Because roaming gold from revelation props every 5 seconds from them being off the map. So you want to be proactive but also be active in clearing the lanes, which makes your early game rotation, those 2 minutes, right, has more like complicated pathing now for the roamer than the jungler. Usually jungler will be the more complex pathing in the first 2 minutes of the game before turtle, but now it belongs to the roamer, okay? You want to be proactive while also not missing out on waves when you get the chance. That's why some roamers can get level 4 before turtle and some can't. And even if you can't get level 4, it doesn't mean you're a bad roamer. It just means that you're actively scouting out more. You're achieving your goal through there. It means that you're sticking less to the lanes and you're applying more pressure. That helps. If you still secure the turtle because you disrupted your enemy formation, you messed up their rotations a bit, who cares if you get level 4 if they can't even contest the turtle, right? And plus, the strongest person in level 4, at level 4 in the first turtle, is your XP. Your job as a roam is to maintain that balance, is to maintain that equilibrium, and be like, okay, you're gonna try and get more farm from my jungler, I'm gonna stop you. You are trying to scout out vision from my team, I'm gonna stop you. You are trying to gang my goal laner, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna do whatever I can to stop you, but even if I can't stop you, it's okay because that's just my job. Until I get out, okay, then maybe I find a set. But in the early game, you are just being as annoying as possible while being while still sticking to your allies. You have to find that balance. It's hard to achieve that balance, but once you try and find it after playing more roam games, you can see that you're being very pesky in the early game, and you're practically unstoppable if you're a good active roamer lah. Is leashing less recommended now cause it snowballs the enemy roam? You have, okay, the part about you dealing more damage and the enemy, like, okay, basically your enemy damage and damage received is like significantly, like they receive more damage and they deal less damage in your jungle, so you have an advantage. But to answer the leashing question, poke it once, like the blue buff, okay, just like poke it. It depends on the roamer you're against. Let's say you're against like a Khalid, okay, you're against like a Khalid or Cho, okay, you ideally want to poke it and secure the buff, okay, because what happens, right, is there's an alternate situation where the enemy roamer ends up taking your buff entirely. Now, your concern about leashing is, okay, if I leash, right, if there's like 3 people here, and the roamer comes over, he basically gets level 2 from this already. Why want him to get level 2 from this? Well, the issue is if you all go and prio mid, unless you all guarantee this kill and mid and make this mid lane damn low, right, your roamer, like a Cho or like a Khalid or Hilda, can easily kill your jungler over here. I'm not even kidding, your jungler could die here. That's how strong the roam is in this current meta. I would say it is the roam meta actually. So I would say it's worth him getting a bit more XP, but you have to help your jungler secure the buff. So unless you know your jungler is like perfectly fine, your jungler is someone that farms well, your jungler is someone that can deal with invade, like a util jungler, that's not an assassin jungler, like a fragile, like an alpha that can deal with these kind of invasion tactics better, then maybe you poke a bit and then you just go back to clearing. But it depends on which buff you start off also. Obviously, if you're the mid and roam, right, you won't be lingering around this red buff, right? If not, by the time you get there, you won't be there in time. But if it's the blue buff, on the other hand, you can poke it a bit more. Most people try to fast clear this. Jungler retreats this, they fast clear this. The moment jungler reaches here, you're safe. The mid and roam just have to hold this mid down. They don't have to care about jungler anymore. Leashing only applies to the first buff, by the way. Don't go and help them with the second buff, even if you're a support. Like, if you're Angela, don't try and push this. Cause your heal is very important if you're a support to help your mid over here. Unless your mid is an absolute bum lah. But even so, don't go and help your jungle. Go and help XP or go. It's more worth. Cause your roamer value diminishes each time after the first review. Your first review is like, wow, what a surprise, there's so many people here. But subsequently it's like, oh, okay, this person's here, I guess. I'm just providing info to get my XP. It doesn't really provide much value to the rest of my team except for myself in that sense. So yeah, leashing helps, but first buff only. Don't do it anywhere else. And it's more worth leashing and clearing the buff fast than letting your enemy roamer get an early kill on your jungle. Yep. Other than that, the other thing is the roam blessings are also adjusted. They are more consistent now. You unlock it slower, but at the same time, it's like you get a full blast at the start. So yeah, I like this change. I like my conceal being faster. I like my favor coming slower, but my impact is more felt. I like my encourage and my direct hit. Yeah, I like this adjustment and I like this change to the new patch. I like the roam patch. Cause let's be real, if ML has to go to a point where they award protection points for you picking roamer, yeah, the game's cooked. Okay, let's not go to that. Okay. The boots one is interesting, but I'm not gonna talk too much about it. It basically gives you more incentive to buy certain things because like you get mini adjustments, I guess. You realize that all these boots, it also facilitates early game. Includes the magic codex, gives you magic power, includes the hero's ring, gives you cooldown reduction. Yeah. This is nothing much. This is nothing much. I don't think the adjustments for the hero. What's up, guy? I don't think the adjustments to the hero is too insane. You're unsubscribing if I don't put Kagura as or well, yeah. You might be disappointed, but I can justify it, I guess. Okay. Now that the roam adjustments are done, where is it? Oh yeah, wait, I forgot to mention this, but it's probably damn obvious. But the roam adjustment, now you cannot buy double roam. Okay? Double roam doesn't work. People tried to abuse it early game, failed miserably because Moonton immediately said, okay, now only one person can buy roam. So yeah, don't even try double roam. Unfortunately, that was the strat for late game comebacks, but I guess now your roamer is more value, so there isn't really a point for a late game comeback anyways. Okay. Let's talk about heroes. Let's talk about heroes, okay? Let's talk about hero buffs, hero nerfs, and reworks. The more underrated she is, the more I can play her. Yup, exactly. Okay. Yeah, this is horrible. Okay, like I'm not gonna lie, bro. Whoever agreed to this change deserves like an like okay, okay, I can't say that on like YouTube, but yeah, yeah, they ruined Angela. Exactly. You know what I was talking about earlier, where the expanding reverse diminishes the value of Angela. Well, not anymore. Your Angela can actually join the fight now. Well, reduced from 70 to 20 seconds. That's like saying, right? Okay, you have this Angela player, okay? This Angela player might not be very strong. Angela might not be a very mechanical hero. But hey, at least it tests some form of your macro. You can go like, okay, I'm gonna camp base and out in late game. Because I can't do much in team fight. But I can provide a global out. So it will stay base and clear lane. And still out from there. And yes, that playstyle of Angela hasn't changed. But what this means is basically it goes from a game-changing ultimate to literally when you conclude a fight, you have the out again. It is annoying as hell. Everyone watching this stream should ban Angela in their ranked games unless you are an Angela player. But if you're an Angela player, why would you be watching my stream? Okay, okay, wait, I'm kidding. Wait, but yeah, wait, this change is so unjustified. This change is so unjustified. Okay, and it's not just in ranked games, by the way. Without doing anything to util junglers, right? They are returning because of this Angela, and even Assassins pair well with her now. Even Sustain XPs pair well with her now. Even Go Lane DPSs pair well with her now. Everything in the world pairs well with this Angela because she can use it so sparsely. Okay, the MVP of this fight is Lapu Lapu. I'm gonna out this Lapu Lapu. Okay, the next fight, my MM can join the fight. It's a Harith with Holy Crystal. Let me just out this Harith so he becomes unkillable. What about the next fight? The next fight is late game at 18 minutes. My Fredrin needs my shield. If not, he's not gonna be able to sustain. Okay, I'm gonna out this Fredrin. She's so versatile in every situation that she's so broken to a point where people fail to comprehend how broken she is precisely because she is broken. Okay, I don't know how much sense that makes. But yeah, it is basically ruined. This hero is ruined. This hero is absolutely ruined. They remove the stack resets. Yeah, everything that comes with the out revamp is just it seems comforting compared to the out revamp. Okay, I'm just gonna put it that way. If anyone plays HOK here, there's a hero called Yaria. I talked to some people about this. In Chinese, it's called Yao for anyone who plays in Chinese. She basically is the current Angela. She has a sparse out, but there's a difference, yo. You see, there's a difference. In HOK, Yara can only out with two conditions. Number one, you can out within a certain radius. It's not a global out. Number two, depending on how long you stay on the guy, your cooldown gets increased or decreased accordingly. Now that is what I call balance. You can't give me a baseline of 20 seconds and tell me that she can achieve that without fleeting time. You don't even need fleeting time now, by the way. You're literally a Flask of the Oasis procer. You go in and you prop Flask of Oasis for everyone. Everyone stays alive. You become unkillable unless you're Rins. You're alive for like the whole game. Yara is horrid to play against, but at least there's justification behind her kit. Like, she's annoying as Angela, but at least like this is her base. Angela was someone with like, okay, Angela is still a hero I dislike, but at least her kit was justified. Okay? Her kit was justified, and now it just becomes like a shield stacker with a bunch of shit stacked on top of you every 20 seconds. Okay? And this is without cooldown reduction. You don't even need fleeting because her innate cooldown reduction reduces this to 10 plus. By the time I short call in a 5-man, and say that Angela has no out, she has her out back again. Okay, to be fair, Angela's out is easy to proc down as well, but it's a very good safety net. Like, I must say the decrease in the shield, where did they decrease? Here. It's huge, by the way. 250 to 150. Oh, you wanna know what else went from 150 to 250 instead, and now he's broken? This freaking piece of... Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, this thing is basically 150 to 250. The out also 100, 170. Then it got changed to 150. This one is reduced. But the skill 2, this is basically 150 to 250 here. Okay. It is a huge change, I must say. The shield here, okay, we'll get to Bane later, but if you can imagine how broken Bane is right now from 150 to 250, you can see how much of an opposite impact the 250 to 150 has. Okay? So I must admit the shield is bad, and it is chunkable. But, okay, I'm just raising the example of Yara as like a... How do I put it? Like, there isn't really like any other hero you can compare it to. I wouldn't say it's identical, but that's kind of the like flow I'm getting at. Yeah, Bane is a 2-shot, which is why we'll stop talking about Angela and we'll talk about Bane. Okay. Wait, actually let's not talk about Bane now. We'll talk about Bane in the gold lane tier list, okay? Because it doesn't really matter. Bane doesn't really matter in this because the moment I say Bane is broken, everyone's gonna start spamming Bane and they're gonna be like, why did I lose with Bane? I thought Bane was broken. Okay, so we're gonna go on first. Okay. Okay. Tamus. They skip Alice. Or is Alice under revamp? Okay, we'll talk about the revamp Alice with the tier list, okay? Tamus, okay. Tamus is a hero that I have like how do I put it? My initial impressions was that he's broken. Now he's like not really. I would say it's similar to my impression of Obsidia then versus now, okay? What they did to Tamus is everything in this patch you have to understand is about consistency. Except Bane. He's just consistently dealing damage. Okay. Okay. But okay, consistency, okay? Tamus used to be a gacha game. You used to like proc your things at like 50-50s, okay? You either get a TT or you get like the new limited 5-star, okay? But now, it's like, okay, you stack it up. The longer you are in the fight, the more deserving you are of that stacks. And after that, you get to proc the basic attack faster. And the EBA, sorry, not the basic attack. The enhanced basic attack. Okay. So this Tamus right here is, it feels better to play, but does it change his playstyle? No. Is he still used the same way? Probably yes. Can he be used in the jungle? Probably yes too. And I do think that he is better now in the jungle, but he is still viable in XP. Okay, but there isn't enough data from MPL because you won't usually put out a Tamus unless like you have to, and I can't even think of a situation where Tamus would be even viable. Okay, so Tamus is just Tamus, I feel. He is smoother now. He procs faster now. He's a more consistent beast. But he doesn't have enough to be counted meta. Yeah. Sylvana can only be interrupted by high level CC. I don't think she'll be played. Chip. Okay. I finally understand. Chip. Chip, right? In case you're wondering why he's being banned now. I don't know where he's banned in your rank games, but in my rank games and in pro play, he is. Okay. Chip. Chip, this adjustment is different. Okay. He didn't become meta because of the adjustment. He became meta because of the map changes. If you go back to all the previous map changes, right, you can see that almost every map supplements a chip. Dangerous grass, oh, chip can just camp and TP. Broken walls, even better, chip can just flicker and TP. Expanding river, why do I even have to talk about this? Okay. You see, the difference between a chip and a Loi is that chip places something down and everyone comes through, whereas Loi requires everyone to be there. Okay, so basically the chip just needs to make use of these changes, these three over here, and basically get into a position where it's prime for him to out. And the moment his output is down, it's basically like 1 year ago chip, that kind of chip. Okay, so especially when I'm playing a 5-man, I think solo kill don't ban chip. Solo kill, if your enemy can play a good chip, right, I applaud them, I must say. Chip is a round. Yeah, chip is pretty round, literally pretty round. But yeah, 5-man ban chip please. Solo queue, you can consider not banning him, I guess. Nerfs, Florin. You see, I don't understand why they decided to change the Angela thing, but nerf Florin. But yeah, the Kimiwa is nothing much. Okay, now let's go very quickly into the tier list. Okay, we're gonna do how do you wanna do this? Maybe I'll do mid first. Okay, I'll do mid lane first, cause I already have like an impression of how I wanna do mid lane in this. Yo, I would want to get in a call too, but my my PC resetted and now I'm having trouble setting up the stream with call. So okay, we're gonna put out this tier list because this I did at the start. Okay, this I did at the start of the before this patch even dropped. Okay, and half of these shouldn't even be here. Okay, but let's do mid. Okay, mid lane, very easy for the top tier picks. Okay, Fasa, pick or ban. Okay, if you want to know why a pick is justified being a certain category, just ask. If not, like people like Fasa, I'm gonna assume why I'm gonna take it like it's assumed knowledge. Okay, yeah, like I said, people already got slander me for my previous tier list. Okay, Fasa is up there. Wait, I'm sorry, I just cannot see who is in here. Wait, I cannot see the heroes. Wait, this doesn't even have the new heroes, does it? Okay, let's just do it from scratch then. First are Jusin, okay? Jusin is up here because of a kid, okay? Literally, if you remove the levitate, which they are doing some very weird things in Advanced Server 2, she'll be all the way in F tier, okay? Jusin, top tier, okay? Another mage that is not bad right now, I would still say is not bad. Actually, is it not bad? Let me see if I can find the mage here. Kimi is still S tier, okay? Kimi is still S tier because everyone here has decent wave clear except Jusin is a bit less, but Kimi's damage is still quite high lah. Kimi Fasa is very tradable in pro play. You don't expect your what's that? You don't expect your Kimi to change much from this. Oh my god, this thing's gonna be annoying. Okay, wait. Let's just tackle the on demand first, okay? Kagura, okay. Okay, let's talk about Kagura because Kagura is demanded, okay. I gotta put Kag like in between this and oh my god. I'm so sorry for that. I gotta put Kag here. Okay, Kag is in between A and B. Okay, before anyone says anything, okay, y'all have to think about the purpose of the Kag. Okay, I'm not a Kag main, and there are Kag mains watching this right now. However, in a realistic point of view, from like a objective centric point of view, you have to realize that Kag is good only when you snowball. Okay, realistically, unless you're the best player, unless you're the best TikTok Kag player, it's hard for you to come back with Kag. Okay. Kagura is a mage that requires a lot of burst. It requires your items in early. She doesn't really need that holy crystal. She just needs a bit of advantage over her laner, and she can just burst almost everyone in the game. It doesn't matter who you are, she bursts you down. Okay? I'm just gonna remove this so I can see that chat. Okay. So, Kagura is basically a burst mage, okay? She is there for the burst. And why she's good is because there's a lot of stationary mages now. There's a lot of mages like your Fasa. There's a lot of mages like your Eve. Her purpose is being a burst mage that's pesky to deal with and yet has damage when she snowballs. The other thing she provides is anti-dive. A lot of assassins are meta now, but the moment a YSS comes in and outs her, she purifies it. The moment a lens comes in, she has 2 blinks. She has everything, but she doesn't excel at a certain thing. That's how she is, okay? Her skill 2 is literally a dash. Her skill 3 is literally a burst. And her skill 1 is a poke. In both forms, they do the same thing. It's different from like a Suyo. In a Suyo, both your forms do completely different things and you use them for different scenarios. But for Kagura, you used it in a fixed scenario. And I hear the argument, okay, Kagura has different combos, she has different piece of shit. Like, there's so much TikTok plays you can do with her, there's so much outplay potential. Yes, I agree, but how much of that combo are you actually gonna use in an actual game? Who doesn't go like the standard Kagura out combo over like any other combo, okay? My argument for Kagura not being higher is that she's still draft dependent. Kagura has to be able to, number 1, do decently against your laning mage. And number 2, she also has to have some form of value such that she can purify something or escape something. And number 3, your team has to play around your early game. If not, Kagura is cooked. Okay, Kagura early game, and precisely because your map changes facilitate that early game, right? Your Kagura has more value right now. Okay? So Kagura and Max A and B. Okay. Okay. Selena is dependent on the player, but still A. Where is she? Okay, this one. This one, I ranked her in my tier list at the top, by the way. She is a pick or ban. And I will justify why once you look at the rest of the tier list and you look at the rest of the other tier list, because she is a top pick. And I'm not being biased, but it's because everybody in this game basically has a big out right now that you can steal. And there's so much variety that you can somehow fit Valen into every comp if you are a good Valen player. So she's automatically up there. There are a few other mages. Obviously, I'm not gonna mention every single mage, right? But Nana is an interesting one. People have been experimenting with Nana, and I'm not even gonna lie, she is B tier. The hero she counters the most is Fasa, because the moment she puts her out down, you can just Molina and do whatever the hell you want with her. But Nana is B tier, I feel. She has potential, she just doesn't have enough how do I put it? She's similar to Kagura in a sense that she's reliant on that burst. The Molina provides a bit of value, but most mages such as your Kimi and your Fasa, you see that a lot of the mages here, right? They can deal damage or they can do what they're good at without even their outs. Nana is someone that can't really do that. So that puts Nana down there. Kagura makes her useless. No umbrella, no copy. That's fair. Okay, Eve, I really like the adjustments to Eve. I think she is A tier. She's so spammable right now. Her first skill is so spammable. Everything about her is good. Novara, okay, I would say Novara is in between A and B. She's probably like the bottom of A. She's still draft dependent. It really depends on whether you want a tank. For example, if your Roma is a support, she will be absolutely cooked because there's no way anyone will set up anything for her because she's one of the mages with no CC. Everyone else here has CC. Let's see, are there other mid layer? Okay, Lower E, like I said, with the chip argument, it makes her like B tier. It doesn't make her super viable, but it doesn't make her super bad. Faramis is quite bad right now. Because meta favors skirmish, meta favors very prolonged teamfight. As for Faramis, he outs once and that's his job done. So it doesn't really support that sustained teamfight. Lunox, okay. Lunox is still dependent. Okay. Lunox, okay, this question mark tier is gonna be situational, okay. In that case, Nana should be here too. But yeah, situational. Lunox is situational. Don't pick her if the enemy doesn't lock a Uranus or some form of tank that you have a counter against, because if not, you're gonna get absolutely molested in the early game. Sicilian, like I said, if you go to late game, he's a beast, but he isn't that favorable in early, which is what the meta likes. So if you're considering only like overall and not like late game Sicilian, I would say he's between A and B. What else? I don't think there's much other. Aurora, Vexana, Kedita, all these burst mages are all around floating around B tier. You realize that the top mages provide more utility, at the same time they also have decent damage. That's what makes a good mage in this meta right now. Valir is also situational. It works same as a Lunox, except Lunox is a cleaver, Valir is a denier. So there's a difference between the two. Wait, there was one interesting mage that I was thinking of. Well, let me find. Suddenly forgot, but I'm pretty sure there's one. Where is it? Zetian. Zetian isn't here, right? Zetian is also under situational. Like I said, I'll make a whole video on why she's not meta. I have an analysis on that, I have a theory on that. But Zetian just isn't great, okay? Zetian isn't great unless you have a 5-man and you can actually wombo combo. Lilia is about B, I guess. Actually, no, she's also situational. These three over here rely on the enemy tank picks. These here are universally good, okay? So mid lane, I'm gonna remove this screenshot. Soon. Yup, okay, let's clear this. We'll go to XP next. Actually, no. Let's do XP with gold last, cause there's a lot of overlap. Jungle. Let's do jungle. Okay. Jungle is extremely stagnant. I never thought I would be dissatisfied of an assassin jungle meta, but here I am. Lancelot, S tier. YSS, S tier. Hayabusa, S tier. Fanny, S tier. Joy, S tier. Now you see the issue with these 5 heroes is that 4 out of them will be banned in your rank games, but none of them will be banned in pro play, except maybe the Fanny against certain teams. Why? Okay, bye-bye. Why? Is because in professional play, they only get 3 bans each in the first place, which means they have to choose their bans accordingly. And since a lot of these assassins can be traded for, except everyone against Joy here, which is Joy loses against almost everyone here lah. So, and she also doesn't do well against Util, but her kit is just strong, which is why she is strong. But in essence, everyone here is tradable. You can trade Lance for YSS, Haya for YSS, Haya for Lance. It depends really on the mechanic. So usually they try and trade it out and they just prio it if they don't take it, I guess. Now if you go to other jungler picks, Guinevere. Okay. Guinevere, how they do it in pro play, they pair it with a Kalia. But Guinevere, I would say, right, okay, Gwyn, she's like, no, she's not even A, she's B. She's probably closer to a bottom of B as well. Cause she doesn't really provide much except the knockup, and like it's very like draft dependent. The draft has to have one more airborne along with the Guinevere. If not, she doesn't really provide much value. Fredrin is A tier, closer to S actually, between S and A. He's still very strong. Baksha is less used now, but I do think he is A tier. Basically, all your util junglers are A tier. I would say Akai, where's Akai? I would say Akai is A tier as well. Where is the panda, bro? Yo, am I blind? am I blind? Wait, where's the panda? What the frick? Ah, there we go. Okay, panda. Panda is A tier. Okay. We go to some unorthodox picks now. Let's see. Leomord is B tier, okay. Everyone unorthodox. Okay, I'm gonna just put it as situational, okay. Leomord is situational. Nolan is situational. Actually, no. Nolan is more B. He's more consistent than Leomord, but he is not very, very great right now. Okay. Let's see. You see, has a tough time trying to like determine these because they aren't really that great. I'm gonna contrast it with my previous tier list. Okay, so we have the Suyo. I'm pretty sure Suyo wasn't in that tier list. So Suyo is about okay, Suyo got hit harder than I thought. Okay, so Suyo is down to like here. Suyo is down to like B tier. Okay, like I don't think Suyo is great right now. I won't see a situation where you play Suyo unless like there's a very clear reason for you to pair with like a bit of damage, a bit of damage and CC. But yeah, okay, I'm an advocate of Grok Jungle lah, but he is situational, so I don't really count that in. There aren't really other amazing jungler picks. Your Karina, your Gushen, your Aemon, your Helcurt, all these don't really make sense in the meta right now unless you really have something you want to go for. Yeah, that's about it for jungle actually. Literally play anything, like only play the top 5 heroes and like you guarantee like a 80% win rate if they're open, I guess. Otherwise you have to scramble your head to find something that can work in the scenario, which often you can't, so you end up picking some of the weird picks. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It really depends on the team dynamic and team comp. So yeah, I'm not gonna dwell much on this because this is probably the most boring and the most like blatant meta we have right now. So yeah, let's just move on to Rome. Now Rome, what? I swear I just pressed something. I swear it took $200 out of my bank account. I swear that one click took $200 out of my bank account. I'm not even kidding. We'll end the stream by 10:30. Rome. Romer is Romer. Wait, why doesn't my keyboard? Romer. Okay. Romer. Cho. Okay. Cho is arguably, in my opinion, the best roamer right now, apart from Gato. Okay. Cho, I'm just gonna. Okay, so Gato is A tier. Sorry, S tier. And Cho is above Gato. Okay. So Cho is the baseline, which means that Tigreal is about A. Okay, but in pro play, Tigreal will be like a B, cause he's very reliant on that one set. He doesn't really provide much utility. But if you're talking about rank, it will be between A and B. Just know that in pro play, it's picked less. Okay, so if Cho is the standard, so we're just gonna put Cho as S tier, like at the top, okay? Cause Cho is just the GOAT. He provides everything you want paired with the new map changes. So yeah, he's just that good. Cho, Gatot, you have Badang. Badang, fallen off a bit. I would put him above Tigreal, but S tiers are literally for like the best of the best, okay? I don't even want to rank her. Okay. Angela is God tier, okay? Angela is the only one above Cho. Hilda is A tier for expanding rivers, for broken walls, all the weird stuff. But as a hero itself, she's not that good. Okay. Layla Rome. Let's see. Yeah, we'll put her there. Okay. So for your other roamers, since you have your Hilda, you also have your Kali. Kali and Hilda share that A tier spot right there. Franco has risen in popularity because of his utility and his pairing with the map changes, so he's also out there. Grok, not very used in the past, but more used now. So actually, I'm gonna put Tigreal at B, so that Grok can be a baseline for him, so Grok's gonna be B. Matilda, it will be C actually. I don't see support room being useful at all right now, frankly speaking. Camilla is a pseudo support tank, so I'll put her as B. Minato is also a pseudo, so I'll put her at B. Everything that's a bit of support in them isn't great unless your name starts with A and ends with an A and it's not America. Okay. What else? Romer. There are a lot of rumors actually, but we're only talking about like the most meta ones. Okay, in the case of Obsidian, I guess Belleric would be situational. Hylos is average, I guess. Hylos is like here. He's like B. He feels like a support more than he's a tank, because although his main trait is a tank, his ult can change the game so much because the ult is an enabler. It's like a supportive ult. It's like an enhancer and a debuffer for them. So he can be considered as some form of a enabler in a sense. So he's down there. Ruby, I don't like her in Rome, so Kaja is also situational, unless you're playing rank. Then the Kajas there are diabolical. Helcurt, people are experimenting, also situational. Let's see. Baksha Rome can still work, but it's like somewhere around here. It's like ahead of Tigreal, I'm pretty sure. So I'll put him as B, inching towards A a bit. Akai Rome, I don't like him as Rome. I think he should only be jungler because it helps with his objective secure. If he's not used for objective secure, if he's just used for that out, it's bait out too fast. If like jungler out Akai already baits out so fast, tank out Akai will be bait out even faster. So I don't think I would consider Akai here. Guinevere can roam actually, but Guinevere is also situational. She's more dependent in jungle right now, I feel. Rafaela, okay, all supports are down there. All supports are down there except Matilda, because Matilda has the expanding river and broken wall change, and Angela because Angela is just Angela. Okay, I do think that covers all the meta rumors. Kufra is like here. You see the issue why there's so many like rumors being like very average and there's only so few at the top, right? It's because in pro play, they usually don't ban out rumors. And you see that in your ranked games, you also don't usually ban out these rumors. So often more or less, unless you're like completely trolling or like you want to go for a certain type of strategy lah, you'll pick like one of these rumors over here lah. You'll go for these staples, maybe inching some into B also. But you won't go anyone below here. You won't go any of these rumors here that I didn't say. So it's kind of like jungle, but apart from jungle, they are like not broken to a point where you have to ban them, but it's more of like a trade-off in the draft. Jawhead. Only play him if you're Filipino lah. So he's here. Yup. Doesn't provide much utility. Okay. I gotta make a complete video of. I swear I paid another $200. I swear to God. I gotta make a separate video about the why fighters can be used in the gold lane. But for now, let's just rank the XP laners. Okay, we're gonna do a XP into gold lane transition. Then you're gonna see something. Okay, yeah, you're gonna see a pattern. Phovius, he's like S and A-ish, I guess. Okay, let's put the more obvious ones first. Lapu, S tier. Where is he? Arlott, S tier. Is CC in this tier list? I can't see CC. Did I just say I can't see CC? Okay, sure. Okay, CC is up here as well. Okay, CC is up there as well. CC is up there as well. What other XP laners do you have? How come I feel like this tier list doesn't have anyone? How come I feel like this tier list really don't have anyone? Okay, Esme is like A. Okay, she's very close to S, but she's not S just yet. Okay, so she's like A. Okay, we're just gonna put all the heroes up there first, and then we're gonna explain the ranking later. Okay, like okay, Alice is about B. Badang is like after Esme, like he's used more in Rome, not really in XP, but he can be used in XP, I guess. Hylos, I don't really like him in XP right now, so I'm not gonna put him there. Khalid can, but it's like here. Hilda is better in XP than Khalid, so I'm gonna put Hilda slightly higher than Khalid. So Hilda's gonna be around here. Cho XP is situational. It's not bad. Question is, where is Lucas? Okay. If you are a Lucas god, like absolute Lucas god, okay, he will be here between these two, okay. But if you're talking about him as a hero, and if he doesn't snowball, and if he just like doesn't fit well into the comp, or like you simply are just an average Lucas player with like no form of like bravery to engage, no form of confidence to engage, then he will be closer to here. So yeah, that's just a very basic take. He's very dependent on the player, because right now the only player that plays him is James Bungs, and he's not even the XP laner. And he isn't even the best jungler as well. So, if you are Lucas Comfort, go up there. If you never touch Lucas in your life and you don't intend to touch Lucas in your life, don't put him in the top tier. Okay. Glue, you're Sanford. You are like here. You're not Sanford. He's like B tier, above Alice, I would say. Okay, Grok XP was something. Okay, among the three roles, Roam, Jungle, and XP, right? I put Grok XP as the last, and I still do think Grok XP is the last. Okay, Gato XP is a bit rare now. Gato as a hero is S tier, if you factor in the room. XP is between A and B. Ruby is, okay. Ruby, as much as I hate to say it, Ruby is better in the gold lane. So Ruby is like A, I guess, provided I can even find Ruby. There we go. Ruby is like A, above this. Uranus. Okay, Uranus is just like, I don't know. Uranus is like that mosquito in your room, like, right? Like when you're trying to sleep, right? Then like he just goes like, no. He just says no. Like, chat, let's get a turtle. No. Chat, let's gang the goal lane. No. Chat, let's push mid. No. He just says no. And then like you're like, okay, we have to like know. We have to actually know. Cause like but is he counterable? Yes. So he's an A. Uh Tamu situational. The Risla situational, very very situational. Teams have to stop picking him when he doesn't fit. He has very limited mobility, okay? So unless you have some form of mobility like a Matilda or a Chip to help him like engage very very quickly, right? Cause his initiation tools is one of the fastest. Penalty zone is almost like impossible to dodge. So just put him a bit more mobility, get him to a battlefield a bit faster, and he will become relevant, trust me. Yuzhong is situational. I do think if you need a dive, Yuzhong is one of the best. But if Lapu is open, why not go Lapu, right? There was someone else I wanted to talk about. Paquito. Paquito is also situational. Benedetta is also situational. They are both situational in the sense where you need a damage XP, you need a dive that has faster execution than the Lapu or Yuzhong, and you need some form of damage. Your roam or jungler is a very very heavy tank. You have like a Hylos or you have like a Fredrin or like a Baksha. By all means, go Paquito and Benedetta if you're godly at it. Same for Cho actually. Cause Cho you kinda go pseudo, you don't go full damage, but you also don't go full tank. You can afford a bit of Fury Hammer here and there. But you're there for the initial poke lah. These three help you win your early game fast. But once the Ben or the Paquito gets behind, I can tell you he feeds 0-5. Oh, CC is there. CC is there, but I just can't find CC. So like, just take it that CC is there. Yeah. I do think that's all. Now, you want to see something very, 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 very interesting. Now, let's just remove Alice. Let's just remove Blue. Let's remove Gatot. Let's remove Kali and Hilda and a bit of Uranus, okay. Let's remove Arlet too. Okay, pretend CC is up there, okay? And then everyone in situational goes down. And then we transform this into a gold lane tier list. With the Bane. Oh my god. This is diabolical. I don't know what Moonton did to their game. Okay. But this is diabolical. Now let's rank the actual marksman first, okay? So we get a sensing of where everything is at. Moskov is about A. In pro play, this is basically based off pro play. Because if I were to base this off ranked games, right, somehow my random thing Hanabi is S tier lah. Okay. Granger is S tier too. But okay, no one in this tier list is as prio as 1-1, okay? I have to put that as a disclaimer first. Harith is also S. Beatrix is A. Irito is A. Who else? Let's see. Claude, okay. Claude, very hot take. I don't like Claude in this meta. Unless you're absolute Claude main, unless you're like Skylar or someone, don't put don't play Claude. Claude is like down there. Like he doesn't really provide much utility. Everyone else can like do decent damage. Claude, like you go in like you blazing duet, like somehow you end up tackling them. And Claude is very hard to farm because his range is pretty short. And like the moment you get behind in your lane, right, it's very hard to get back. Which is why Flying Cloud helps him a bit, but I don't think it's justified to put him any higher. Like I don't think Claude is at the level of a Moskov. I wouldn't consider him at the level of a Moskov. Nathan is similar to Claude, so I'm gonna put him at B also. These heroes are very, very dependent on the player. Kimi Go is like I am not a fan of Kimi Go. If you're playing Kimi Go, just play her in the XP. Bruno is also somewhere here. Iksha is situational. Okay, but we are leaving the situational tier purely for the fighters, okay? Because it's a very, very interesting situation we have here. Let me see where there's any other relevant marksmen. Lunox can be, I guess, but we already fleshed out in mid lane, right? So we're not really gonna put her there. Or Roger, I thought he'll be more meta. My impression of him greatly changed. He is not good right now. YSS, you can't play him in the goal lane. carry. Carry is here. So all these four are like, okay, these three are like contested picks. These three are like, okay, if it depends a bit on the situation. These four are like, okay, if I'm really feeling them. These four are like, okay, these four, the things they have in common, tank shredders. Tank shredder more so than anyone else out here. These are like the Baksha shredders except for 1-1. These are like the staple picks. These are the tank shredders. This is toy. Okay, this is RQ toy. Wait, then in that case, like, I don't know, bro. Wait, then in that case, wait. I feel like I'm damn foul for this, bro. Wait, no, I shouldn't be doing this. I asked why. Uh, where is she? Where is she? Where did I put her? I was sitting hovering over her just now. So Kimi is RQ toy, right? Kimi is RQ toy. Ah, then this is RQ Rins, bro. Yeah, we're gonna put them both in C. Okay, so we have RQ toy and RQ Rins. Okay, yeah, that's just the RQ tier. Okay. Now let's talk about the fighters. Okay, why fighters? Now in the gold lane, right? You realize that the gold you get from the gold minions are less. They are less in the sense that they provide you about 10 gold less, and it actually matters more in the long run. The thing with these fighters is that their kits are strong. They don't need the items. So if you compare someone like a Harith, okay, Harith with like a Holy Crystal or like Moscow with like a Trinity, gets easily bullied by someone like a Ruby, okay. Actually, the more fair comparison is between a Harith and a Bane. You see a Harith, right, and a Bane, both their power spikes are their Holy Crystal. But what do they do for Bane? They rush Holy Crystal first for Bane, but only after he gets his Enchanted Talisman, or if you go the other build, the Stallion Feather of Heaven build, as long as you get some form of CD, then can you go Holy Crystal. The difference between the Harith and the Bane is that he can rush this by second turtle. He needs the first Lord. You're losing out so much more DPS when you're against a fighter lane. Take another example. Let's say the Granger compared to like a Ruby or like a CC actually. I gotta put a CC here. CC you just need War Axe and you start dancing around them. Granger, okay fine. Your Sky Piercer comes pretty early. Your Hunter Strike comes pretty early. They're pretty cheap. But what do you need to do? You need people to feed you those kills, where CC does the exact same thing while still being a lame bully. So the concept of the fighter goal lane here, right? I'm just gonna explain it in very, very brief detail. And what is Badang doing here? Badang is not here, right? Phobias also not agree. Okay, but the concept of the fighter goal, the 5 people you see here plus a CC, is basically to bully your lane opponent and to make them think twice about contesting you, because there's no way as a fighter goal you lose on lane. Okay, there's like absolutely no way. And you can see that all of these people here except Esme, right, they are not even tanky. They are sustainable, but they're not tanky. Even if they go carry, even if they go Bruno, even if they go Claude, there's no way, even if they go Lunox, there's no way that they can actually chunk you down. The max they can do is like retaliate a bit of damage, but that's because you initiated first. It's so much easier for you to get the better off of the trade, and you don't even need the gold camps. The gold lane for you to be placed in there is just for you to deny their farm and say, okay, I have the better early game than you. You can try and come and fight me, but it's not gonna work because I'm gonna regen from all these minions. I'm gonna stand in front of you. I'm gonna stand in front of you here. I'm gonna stand in front of you here. I gotta stand from here, where a typical marksman would, to here. I will shift here, and I will deny you everything. I will just stand here and make you be stuck in this turret and miss out on your entire wave. And it's usually less effective in pro play than it is in ranked games, because in pro play everyone like the team would sense something is wrong and they will go and help. For ranked games it's different. For ranked games everyone is like everyone for themselves, man. So like it's more so effective in ranked games, I feel. Contrary to popular belief, I feel like Fighter Go is more effective in ranked games. Because the moment you get the execution right, you can ultimately destroy. Everyone here is better sustained than any marksman you can find in this tier list. Okay? So, the main concept of the fighter goal lane is the same thing as XP, but just that you deny them, okay? And a very important thing that most people overlook is you don't just pick fighter goal lane anywhere, by the way. You have to pick them when there's at least one more fighter. What do I mean by one more marksman. What do I mean by that is you have a YSS in the jungle, or a Kimi in the mid lane, or even better, both. If you don't have that, you go to late game, you're cooked. There's so many examples in MPL even, by the way. In MPL, they go fighter goal lane without any other marksman, and they end up getting cooked because there's no late game insurance, there's no DPS, everything tumbles down because there's no way of hitting the core. The objective of this game is to destroy the core. What's the point of having a good early game when you can't end the base? Okay, so that's the whole theory behind the fighter goal lane. Just know that these are situational. Never pick these alone without any marksman present in some other role of the team, okay? If there's like a YSF, if there's a Kimi, sure, go ahead. And please don't pick Hanabi, please. Please. I beg everyone here to please not pick Hanabi. If you pick Hanabi, like, unless you can write an essay to me and like justify to me why Hanabi should be worth considering, I would advise you against picking Hanabi, because yeah, Hanabi is just Hanabi. Okay. And with that, that concludes this tier list, okay? Once again, if you have not liked my Alice guide, please go and like. There's like a few days until the contest ends. I have changed some thoughts about this build, but obviously I can't change anything. If not, this whole guide will be like resetted. But I still think that certain parts are pretty relevant and you can go like it as well. I may clip some of the parts of these streams that I find relevant and make it into a video so that you can refer to occasionally, especially the tier list. But I may make like a separate video actually about tier list, because that ramble just now was a bit all over the place. But I'll see what I can do. Other than that, I'll also do a bit more sessions like this. I haven't talked much about the build. I'll probably do a build video soon. I can do like watch parties for MPL as well. I can also do gameplay because I am getting to Immortal this season. So if you want to watch, I'll probably stream some games here and then. I won't stream every single game because I want to have time for other things as well. But there will be games streamed on YouTube as well. Yeah. Melissa situational. She is situational, yes. But the issue with Melissa is most of her dive counters, cause most of the Melissa counters now, right? Like, it used to be assassin. It used to be like she works well against assassin, right? But the assassins either have high enough burst before she procs her out, or like the XPs can burst her down. Like your Yu Zhong easily CC immunes into her, your Lapu CC immunes into her, your Ruby pulls her into you, your Esmeralda doesn't give a shit. He just waits until the shield is over. So yeah, Melissa is situational. I don't see a reason why you would use her. The clearest counter is against Ube or Faramis. It bursts down the shield very fast. Or you pair her with someone like a Camilla or a Tigreal. But other than that, your Beatrix pairs way better. If you want to go against Ube, your Beatrix pairs way better. Your Claude pairs way better. I don't see a world where you will pick Melissa over any of the previous two that I just mentioned. Yeah. Okay, and we are on time. It is 10:30. So for now, that is it for this stream. We covered everything we wanted to cover. We did the map changes. We did the battlefield adjustments. We did a meta check on the tier list, and we explained some misconceptions that you all might have, and had some discussions about certain things. And I am totally aware that you all might not agree with everything I say, and that's perfectly normal. That's why we have this thing in the first place, right? What's the point of having something like a discussion like that and a stream like that if everything I'm gonna say is like one-sided? If everything I'm gonna say has one dimension to it? Obviously it doesn't. And that's precisely why I'm trying to offer a new perspective, and I hope it opens your eyes on certain things and helps you understand the game better in a sense, I guess. But yeah, with that, we will be ending the stream in a few minutes. In a few seconds. Thank you all so much for watching. It's a painful 2 hours of yapping, but I really appreciate everyone who stuck throughout, and even for those who had to leave early, thank you for tuning in as well. I hope you learned something. Next time we stream, I don't know when, but it'll probably be either in the next few days or the next week. I'll go do out some videos. I'll try and connect the gameplay so that people can call and that the gameplay will be clearer as well. And yeah, I will see you guys next time in the next stream, and have a very, very good night. Goodbye.